want, which you need to get the job done. Today we're looking for a hard news story. My hope is about 600 words from you. So between 500 and 700 words, right at 600 is right where I want you to be. You need at least 2 direct quotations. At least 2 direct quotations. And you can have lots more, but at least 2 direct ones. And I would love to see you team green with paraphrasing, indirect quotations, and partial quotations as well. So let's get started. I'll give you a choice. Do you want a crime, fire, crash type story, or do you want a politics story? Raise your hand for politics. Raise your hand for fire, crash. Okay, that was overwhelming. Okay, we'll stick with fire, crash. These ones are a little bit easier than politics, right? So I'm going to be, someone give me a name. Agnes. You're very white name, Agnes. And I'm going to be the New Mexico State Police spokesman. Hi, my name is Sergeant Agnes Smith. And I'm calling this press conference today to discuss the theft of some explosives from a storage container on the far west side of Bernalillo County. A man by the name of Marcus Cherry, M-A-R-C-U-S-C-H-E-R-R-Y. He's a renowned expert in the explosives field. He and his business own a storage facility on the far west side of Bernalillo County, where they store high-end, high-grade explosives for use in education and demolition. It is entirely regulated, and they are following all of the precautions. However, last night when Mr. Cherry went to his storage facility, he discovered that the facility, part of the facility had been burglarized, and some high-end explosives, including 20 pounds of C4, detonation wires, and a small bag of other materials had been taken from one of their metal storage buildings. He immediately phoned authorities, including state police, Bernalillo County Sheriff's Department, and the FBI, to warn them of the theft of this material. We're coming to you now after a night of work trying to locate this, seeking help from the public in finding anyone who has information about these explosives. This amount of explosives could, if used properly by someone with the intent and the education to do so, bring down a very large building. This is an incredibly dangerous amount of material to be in the hands of someone who doesn't know the power of it, or someone who has evil intentions. Mr. Cherry is cooperating fully with the investigation. He is under no suspicion. Anyone with information is asked to call 242 COPS, which is the Albuquerque Police Department number, or 1-800-444-4444, which is the state police number. I'll stand for any questions at this time. was out at his facility yesterday morning at about 7 and returned in the evening after a day of training to put away materials at about 5 and noticed that the materials had been stolen by in between 7 a.m. and 5 p.m.
Were there any security cameras in the facility?
There are not security cameras in this.
What do the other materials consist of?
We're keeping that private for the moment.
Security guards.
There are no security guards. This is a bunker out in the far desert. That is a private business bunker. There are no security guards here.
Have you found any suspects, any former employees or anybody of suspicion?
It does not appear that any employees seem to be involved. This appears to be an outside job.
Was there any sign of struggle with the door?
The side, it was a metal container. The side of the container had been welded through, and the side of the container had been taken out to gain entry into the metal storage container. So there was a serious intention to get inside of this particular bunker. Mr. Cherry is in charge of many state and regional law enforcement training academies. He's very well known in the law enforcement world. He puts together training for bomb squads, demolition teams. He was employed with the ATFE for a while. That's the Alcohol, Tobacco, Firearms, and Explosives Division of the federal government. He teaches police officers and law enforcement how to recognize bombs, dismantle them appropriately, how to take safety precautions. And in order to do that, he sets up demonstrations with live materials, and that's what these materials are used for.
Is there anything else?
And those were the only 3 items that were.
I'm sorry, I want to go back on this.
Yes, sir. You have to ask a question.
What were the 3 items?
I've already said that. Law enforcement always takes action. They're on alert, yes.
Is terrorism?
That's what we're worried about. We are concerned that that someone with evil intentions has gained access to the materials they need, and we are putting out a call to the citizens of America to turn in your friends who might have done this, your relatives who might have done this, to save lives.
Do you have any suspects as of yet?
We're working on several leads.
Is there anything you do to prepare for potential threat?
At this point, all of the safety precautions you already use are in place. We have no indication that there is a target. We have no indication that these materials are intended for use anytime soon. Go about your daily lives. But if you know of someone, or you hear someone talking about having stolen this, or knows of someone who has stolen this material, or is in the market to purchase material like this, please contact the numbers provided. There are no suspects. That's the difference between the instances.
So you can imply that it was a bunker, but also a metal container. So what's the container within the bunker?
The container is the bunker. The bunker is a metal structure, bunker type, meaning you have to kind of walk down into the ground to get into it.
So it's an underground facility.
Partially underground facility.
And was that the only security measures that were?
The building is locked, very securely locked, which is why they didn't get through the door and they had to come to the side of the building.
some heating?
No, it appears that they just cut through the top side of the building. So the building is like this. There's the ground. The building's like this. There's steps to get down into the ground. Any other questions? Great. I will update you in about 20 minutes if you have any further information. Okay, so I am no longer at this Smith. You want to talk to me now.
Sure.
Mr. Cherry. Okay. Hi, I'm Mark Cherry. What can I do for you? What you want? What do you want? Yeah.
What are the estimated street price that these can go on the street for anybody who purchases these?
Okay, this is your teacher told me this up because I don't know this one. Let's say the street price for this is. I don't know what explosive price is. Let's say.
It for C4, that's a really powerful explosive.
Yeah.
I would say at least 10,000 a pound.
Okay, so let's say $30,000. Or let's say $100,000.
That's-
$100,000.
That's what I'm thinking anyway. I might be completely off.
That's okay. Well, just know that makes sense. All right, $100,000. About $100,000 for the C4. Probably another $500 for the detonation materials and the package of other materials. We're not sure.
After this break, will be taking further security measures to prevent this from happening again.
Yes.
Why were there no other security precautions other than the location?
We follow all the security precautions as required by the ATFE. The state police, we've registered our materials with the Department of Homeland Security. We've registered our materials with all of the relevant agencies. We've followed all the guidelines that are in place right now.
Do you know of anybody who would want to use this material?
I'm working with the police with all the information that I have. I'm not getting into it. What else do you want to visit? Come on.
They said there were no suspects.
Why was the material so poorly secured?
I didn't say it was well secure. We've got all approval by everything. I'm done. I don't want to talk to you. All right. I'll be totally in the back source. Now did she go? If you accuse someone of having poorly secured stuff, they just told you they've met through everything. I want to rephrase that question. Do you want information from Mr. Cherry? You want Mr. Cherry on your side? That's a good source for it. Who else do you want to talk to? Also, y'all missed something there. What does he call himself?
Mark.
So, how are you going to quote him? Out with a K or a C? You're not going to. You're going to skip it.
Just hold on.
You could use his full name for accuracy.
The police officer referred to him with the full name, so I don't.
Police officers refer to me as Margaret Shepherd, but I don't know why Margaret. What does it mean, Margaret? It means to be referred to. That's it. Something to be aware of. Learning experience. Who else do you want to talk to? What else are you going to do?
Maybe another explosives expert?
Yeah, that's a great idea. Really nice idea. All right, I'm going to be another explosive expert. Get into territory. I'm not going to make up a whole bunch of explosive stuff, right?
That's what the thing Verizon is.
All right, Trini Roasty. Hi, I'm explosive expert Trini Roasty. How can I help you?
Give her a general idea of what you said was, the location and so forth and what's going on. And I asked her if her assessment would be about the same as his in terms of the level of security that was involved in the explosives.
That level of security meets all of the codes. However, many other explosive educators take a much greater level of security in their personal material out of a sense of patriotic duty to not let this material land in other people's hands.
since you've been working with explosives?
I am a level 5, that's the highest level trained explosive expert with the National Federation of Explosives Educators. I spent 25 years working for the ATFE as an explosives expert and educator. And now I do trainings and I educate the educators.
Did you have any prior affiliation with Marcus Cherry?
I know Marcus Cherry very well. He is a very well-respected member of our education community. We're really sorry that this happened to his materials, and we are working with him and others to see if we can track down his materials.
Did they get away with the full circuit enough to make a full bomb, C4 wires, detonators?
You'll have to talk to law enforcement about that. But from what you've told me, they have C4, they have detonator wires, and then this mysterious bag. We don't know what's in that mysterious bag. If there are detonators in that bag, then yes, they have the entire circuit they need for that explosive. If that is not what's in that bag, then they will be seeking out those detonators, if that's what their intention is.
How powerful are
A bomb made out of 20 pounds of C4 would level an entire city.
Sweet block.
A city block. It takes about a pound of C4, and maybe we should look at this together, or just make this up as something we can sell. I don't know anything about C4.
Well,
Alright.
a pound of C4 would take out this entire room.
A pound of
A
C4.
pound of C4 would take out this room.
Oh, I think a pound of C4.
Well, maybe the next couple of rooms.
I think a
but
pound of C4 would take out this entire building.
maybe.
Do you know explosive stuff?
Just did a little bit of C4. Just a
Yeah.
little bit of clay.
Well, it depends on where it's. Well,
Yeah.
it also depends on where it's placed as well.
Okay, so I'm just gonna make this up. What? Yeah. Well, it's a good question, because if you're writing the story and it's real life, you need to so this is going to be my real life facts, all right? That amount of C4 could take out the entire campus of CNM and UNM. We'll leave it at that, whether it's true or not, all right?
Okay.
It's class, we have kind of some stuff on.
Is there any differences in the grades of C4?
There are grades of material, and I can't answer those questions right now. You'll have to look it up. I don't know. These are great questions, and questions you should definitely ask an explosive expert.
Is Cherry and his crew currently going to this stocks of what they have and everything?
That would be the normal routine for anybody involved in a situation like this.
And they still not done this bag. What might be?
You'll have to ask law enforcement. I don't know.
Is there anything your facility is doing to stop potential crime?
We've sent out information to all of our members, alerting them to this stuff so that they can alert their own law enforcement agencies, and also mine their sources of people who are interested in purchasing this material. Okay, thanks for your time. Anybody else?
How about another employee who works for Marcus Cherry? Or is he
Know
alone?
any of them? I can find them. You're not gonna find any of them. I tried. This actually really happened. This is a real story. Us.
There's law enforcement leaders who could previous people he's educated himself.
I mentioned a couple people when we were talking to Marcus Cherry that he alerted them.
Yeah.
FBI, call FBI. This is state police. This is a big story. They alerted the FBI and Homeland Security. You've got ways to go to find all your law enforcement. of explosives from Mr. Cherry's bunker. We were alerted last evening at about 6 o'clock to the potential theft of materials, bomb-making materials from the bunker on the west side of Bernalillo County. And we are fully engaged in investigation into finding these materials before they fall into the wrong hands. I'll stand for any questions.
So in the beginning, in the beginning you said that, oh no, never mind. I got it wrong.
No more questions? I'll go if you don't, yeah.
We were informed that there was a couple of leads as far as this. Can you tell us more about that?
Perfect question. You guys want to follow up on these leads. What are these leads? What's going on? We, along with the Department of Homeland Security, are following several leads that indicate to us that the person who purchased these are not terrorists. I can't say more than that, but it does not appear that the intention is to use these materials to destroy at the moment. Now we'll know much more once we follow up on these more, but we are hopeful. So, no storm. Action.
Do you have any further amounts of games regarding storage or transportation?
No, there are tons and tons of explosive materials stored all around the country, very along our guidelines that aren't ever tampered with. It's up to Mr. Chair if you'd like to give the security up beyond what we offer or what we request, but that's not a priority.
Are you investigating previous students as well? To the other officers?
Does not appear to be a law enforcement or an inside job. It appears from the leads that we are getting, which are coming in from the public, thank you, so thank you to the public who's calling in, that this might be the work of some northern New Mexico or southern Colorado residents interested in making a profit. And we haven't necessarily tracked down and spoken with the people we think might be responsible, but we are hot on their trail, and I expect that by this evening I will have an announcement for them.
So you think their intention is to sell it?
That seems to be what it is, which is a great relief to us. Our concern from the very beginning was that this was stolen by people who had themselves the intention to kill other people. Our sense now is that it was stolen by people who want to sell to those people. Which, if we can stop it before it happens, we'll stop it before it happens.
Have there been any similar cases of this in the past?
Not in New Mexico. It's the first one in New Mexico.
So are you saying that there are similar cases within the country?
Yes, America has a long history. There are other cases of stolen explosives. Any other questions? Okay, great. Okay, so what I want you to do is I want you to start writing this story for the website. Okay, so like this story, the explosive story, I want you to write it right now as if you need to put it up online to tell the public about what's going on. And then I'll come with an update in about 15 minutes. We take some more notes and we'll go from there. Okay, so get writing. I want an update on the website, as much of the stories you can possibly get right now to let the public know what's going on. It's up here to see myself. Yeah.
I just can't.
Yeah, your final story needs to be 600 words. Right now, I want you to just just get started on the website. I'll teach you. Okay. Yes. That's okay.
I'll check on. Marcus Trade is the, that's up.
article on the internet, other than just here, read it. 2242 hyphen and then COPS, and then you can put a comma and then do the numbers, or you can just do the numbers if you want. Either way, there's no real rule about it. Oh, good, doing research about C4. That's a great idea. Okay, remember to use your prime real estate. Okay, if I don't read the rest of the story, am I going to know what I really need to know in that first sentence?
No.
No, I'm going to know that Agnes Smith works for the police department. She's a spokeswoman. She reported this theft of this stuff and where it is. But that doesn't tell me any important stuff. Just here. Okay. Watch your style that you can. How do you do that? Yes, lowercase. That's version, right? Your verbs, get it back in there. You don't know explosive stuff. I think know what a large amount is. Yes, much is right. So large is a relative word here. Because that's what we should talk about. We're talking about this is enough to reduce the sure. Dangerous is word that you use. Right. Watch your time element here. When did this happen? When was it stolen? Yesterday. Oh, it's on the way to potential terrorists. That's a good one, yeah. Is potentially on the way, because police say no, it's not gonna happen. You all are doing exactly what real reporters do right now. This is exactly what happens. You take this information, you go research, you sit down, you start to write it. You're doing the work. Yesterday. What was that? How are you all gonna write C4? What do you think the AP style is for C4?
The letter C and number 4.
Lowercase or capitalized? Is there a space? Is it hyphenated? Did anyone think to check that?
Hyphenated.
Yeah. You
Hyphenated
didn't think to
capital.
check? To say we can check? It is not hyphenated.
Okay, I didn't think so.
It's
I
not.
didn't think so either.
It doesn't look right hyphenated.
Check it out. Find out. If you don't know, find out. That is the reporter's job. If you don't know, get off your butt and find out.
That is hyphenated.
Can you use AP style?
They have it written two different ways. They have C-4 and they have C4.
So Wikipedia is not your source for AP style. If you had your AP style book here, you look it up in AP style book. If you don't, so what are you going to do? Go find another story that has it. Go Google AP style C4.
On How Stuff Works, they have it as C-4.
How Stuff Works is not journalism. It's a blog. It's a wiki. Which is okay. It's okay to get information from those, but don't judge your style or your grammar. We have a consensus on how to do it? Capital C, number 4, no space, together.
Yeah.
Capital C. Whatever comes on each side of these columns needs to be deleted. So what this tells me is that Marcus Cherry is not to the top. Does that make sense? Okay, I want you to put your name on your paper, and I want you to does anyone not have a printing account?
I just have one sentence on.
That's okay. That's okay. I just want you to print it and send it in. You can print it or email it. Either way, I guess we're fine. What's that? Let's talk about that. What do we want to call it? In journalism, you call it a slug. What do you want me to slug it? Is like the nickname or the name of it. So what I want you to slug it is your name, version 1, explosives. So your first name or your last name, version 1, explosives. And you can print or email it, I guess, if you don't.
I prefer to say paper.
Great.
So it's version 1.
Your name, version 1. Explosives, version 1. email? What was that?
C41. Where's that? I'm sorry, what were you saying it was?
I just want your name on it and something that says version 1 explosives. We're gonna have 2 versions of the story. Here's my email if you need it. Okay, email us. Time to email. I want to keep moving on. One email? Or any of 12?
I need to say.
Roberts, Melissa, Rebecca, Martin, Stephen. Oh, yeah. Hold on. Jacob, is that yours? Are you working on it?
Yes, attention.
Lost my way. Roberts. Just cut and paste if you want. Just cut and paste, you know. Waiting on you. Okie dokie. I am Fred Peters. I am here to announce an arrest in case of the explosives. We are very, very grateful for the hard work of the FBI, the New Mexico State Police, the Bernalillo County Sheriff's Department, and Albuquerque Police Department. Even more grateful for the public who poured in over 3,000 tips in the last hour and a half. That is a phenomenal amount of tips to receive. Those tips led us to a pair of brothers who live outside of Farmington. Their names are Patrick and George Lopez. Patrick is 53 or 54, and George is 56. The tips turned us on to these brothers because they were approaching people offering to sell them these high explosives. The people who've been contacted, some of the people who've been contacted some of whom were entire strangers to the Lopez brothers, contacted their local law enforcement right away. That law enforcement contacted us. Without the care and concern of the public, these explosives could have very easily landed in the hands of terrorists who wanted to kill us. The Lopez brothers have been arrested on federal terrorism charges. As we speak now, prosecutors are drafting formal charges against them, which most likely will include burglary, the receipt of stolen property, larceny, and federal terrorism related charges. If you check back in with me in about 3 hours, I can give you more specific charges, and we might have mugshots for you then. I'll stand for any questions.
What were in the contents of the mystery bag?
The bag contained detonators. It contained all the materials needed to make a complete circuit of bomb, which is why law enforcement was incredibly worried about this landing into the hands of the bomb.
And where were they hiding? Or
They were at their mother's house in Bloomfield, in Bloomfield, New Mexico, where the materials they had were stored in the back of their camp, sitting in their driveway in the sun.
Is your mother aware of
It's difficult to gauge whether she was aware or not.
and where they were being held now?
They are being held in a federal facility in downtown, which is where all federal remains in Mexico. That's
Do they seek, Patrick and George Lopez seek to have remorse for what they done?
You'll have to ask them about that.
They seem to be they have tons of drugs.
The two do have lengthy drug and criminal histories. Most recently, charges of possession of a controlled substance, which from the police reports appears to be meth.
How recent were the next charges?
2000.
much time do you spend?
You'll have to talk to the prosecutors about that once the charges are officially filed, and if they're found guilty of those charges, they could face up to 13 years.
Have the brothers ever been in prison before?
How might they have found out about the bunker unknown it was there?
That is a great question, and we are working on finding that out now. It's still unclear how they knew the explosives were there. And with the help of Mr. Cherry, we're trying to make the connections to the Lopez brothers.
Are the Lopez brothers the only two members of that family, and is their father still alive?
I don't know. They're the only ones that are under arrest.
Was there anyone else besides your mother in the house at the time of their arrest?
There appear to be 2 children in the home at the time of the arrest. exactly what they had, because they were attempting to sell it as a PPP system, which is what triggered the public's worry of them to tell their friends.
Or were they arrested?
We took the Lopez brothers into custody 25 minutes ago, so at about 12:15. And the FBI, the Department of Homeland Security, New Mexico State Police, the county sheriff's department there, worked a coordinated effort with the high violent offender team. We retrieved the brothers from their home using smoke grenades to not harm the mother or the children, and the brothers were taken into custody.
Was anybody harmed?
I'm not sure about it.
Any other questions? Great, please thank the public for their help in getting this, what could have been a terrible, terrible incident under control. Okay, I'm your teacher. So, what you've just written, what you already wrote, it needs to be updated. And this is very much how things happen in the real world. You'll have a story, and then you get an update, and you need to fix it. And it needs to build on what you already have, but you'll need to retell it. You're gonna need to create a new lead because you have much more important information now. This is arrest. But you can't assume that everyone's already read your story, so you have to give them the full story. Okay, does that make sense? So I want you to try it, and I want you to turn this in on Tuesday. I'm looking for about 600 words, at least 2 direct quotes, and I want an inverted pyramid style story. This will give you Tuesday, the beginning of class. Well, when you bring it in, I would like you to print it because we're going to be doing in-class editing. Okay, so even if you don't want to waste paper, we won't be wasting it. We'll be using it for the job. Okay, so print it out, bring it on Tuesday. If you don't have it on Tuesday, you're going to sit here for it because we're using it in class. So do it. All right, this is where we're going to learn from it. I will sit here with you for the rest of the class and help you if you want. If you don't want to sit and stay in class and you'd rather go work somewhere else, that's fine too. Whatever you want. This is due Tuesday. Okay? Have fun. Enjoy it. What was that? No, just bring it printed in. And if you're interested, this is a real story. And I wrote, see if I can find it in my archives.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to do it at home. I'm not bored with anything right now.
No, I want to find the story and show you guys the story that I worked on a long time ago, but you don't have to stay for it anymore, just a curiosity. It was in the Albuquerque Tribune. Was that? The Tribune, yeah. It's no longer there, so I don't think that story was in time for my archives. library.
Library?
Yeah. But if you don't want to walk all the way over there, you can sit quietly with us if you want. Gosh, they don't.
I have another class after this one.
So I just want to show this to you to show you what's possible. This was my very first version of this story, just like you wrote your very first version. I haven't read this in ages. Ages, I tell you. This is my first version, which is very similar to the version that you guys put together. You guys are right on track.